Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, and a quick introduction that will serve for each and every one of these 10 segments that will really make up my top 100 personal top 100 films of all time. It is a huge overhaul. It is a revamp. It is a relook at the entire thing. And eventually at the end of this thing, I am going to do a Letterboxd version of this, which, hopefully will make the first Letterboxd one I did years ago look pale in comparison. So really, this is my top 100 personal 100 films, things that have influenced me from the earliest of my days. I was born in 70. Man, the decade of the 80s was, VHS video stores, the drive-in circuit, all of that stuff. And of recent, becoming a collector, 22 shots of Moodz and horror, podcasts, body bags, just all my influences, right? So this top 100, it is who I am at the moment. Not much of it's going to change, I think. The top 10 will be pretty well locked, I think. But it is who I am. Remember my age, my influences as they are. By decade, 1 or 2 decades, will take up the brunt of this list. You'll see, man. So travel with me as I take this thing on. Take it on. Let's start this thing. Continue on. Number 80 from Danny Boyle. You see it up on the screen. Of course, 28 days later, man. And a great follow-up, but where's the third piece? You know what's interesting about this movie? The way it opens up reminds me of the Day of the Triffids. Dude seriously wakes up in a hospital bed, stark freaking naked, has no clue what has happened, and just wanders out of the hospital and has got to start piecing things together. Just an absolutely fantastic infection film. God, it's just, man, again, it's just done so superbly. Danny Boyle did just an absolutely superb job on this, man. And number 80, and that's from 02. I do have some movies in here, man. There aren't all 70s and 80s. I do have some from up top. Let's see here. From 1979, let's get a little old. Let's go to 1977 and some Wes Craven. The original Hills Have Eyes. I'm still riding the DVD release of this. Well, what a great release it is, though, man. Look at that. This is just classic, man. I mean, as a kid renting this out of the video store, man. Yeah, I'm gonna kick that horse until there's nothing left to kick at, man. It is my age, right? But I would have rented this, man. I would have rented this a lot, man. Just the idea, and you know how movies are as a kid versus 40 years later. You see those movies at a young age. It's such a different way, man. And this movie was pretty terrifying, man. The mutants out in the hills and Pluto and all that. And I'm pretty sure Joe Bob Briggs did an outstanding commentary on this. That I don't know if it's still up on Shudder or not, but number 79, man, Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes. I remember that title. Just struck fear into my heart as a kid, man. The first time I saw that on a video box, like, The Hills Have Eyes. I mean, there's just something frightening about that. And number 78, let's see, 03 here. Some Aja, man. It took me forever to finally see this movie, but when I finally did see it, and I'll tell you what motivated me to see it. It was Giannato De Rossi coming out of semi-retirement to do the effects on this thing, man. You already know what it is now, I'm sure. Some high tension, man. I don't know why I avoided this movie for so long, but this movie, man, I'm pretty sure I reviewed this on Body Bags. You want to see my review on that, some further thoughts and discussion. I did have some things to say. But man, this movie is a wild ride. It is frightening, man. Home Invasion is, when done well, can be some of the most frightening films that you can view. And Aja, man, he really lit it up, man, on this. Yeah, if you want to know what I think about the twist and all that, check out my review on Body Bags for High Tension, man. Number 77 from 81. I don't think we've mentioned him yet, man. Let's bring some Tobe Hooper into the conversation. The Funhouse. Another movie, man. I'm telling you, me and Glenn joke about this all the time, but if you admire Rob Zombie at all, man, you gotta know, because of his upbringing, this would be the perfect movie for him to remake, man. He knows, man. He grew up in the carny scene. But anyways, Carnival in Town. Sis isn't supposed to be there. Does. Little brother follows after. After a night of absolute horror, being trapped in the funhouse. Man, this has got to be one of Tobe Hooper's best movies, man, as far as I'm concerned. I so dig this movie. Arrow did a nice release on this as well, man. Where are we now? 76 now. A lot of people are going to see this and they're going to like, that movie should be so far up. It's just how things fell, man. I mean, no disrespect to any of the films. If it's in your top 100, man, 100 movies is not a lot of movies, man. When you start trying to figuring out a top 100, you start to realize really fast you're going to be leaving out a lot of movies, and movies aren't going to fall necessarily as perfectly as you think they may or may not. But William Lustig, man, I think this is the only movie I have of his in my 100. And that, of course, is Maniac from 80, man. The bathroom scene, man, when she's being followed, that scene is one of the best tension-riddled moments I can think of in a lot of movies, man. Dude, Tom Savini's work in here is, again, is just out of this world, man. The shotgun blast, the head explosion, you know what I'm talking about, man. If I'm talking Maniac, the grimy New York setting, man, the ending of this movie, man. I don't know if I ever really heard anyone talk about it, but it's almost Lovecraftian in the sense of what finally befalls our antagonist. I mean, if you really kind of think about it. Anyways, Maniac, man. This is a tough watch, man. First time through. But it's got some moments in there, man, for sure. At number 75, man, gotta go some James Whale. James Whale. Of the early directors from 30s, James Whale, he's like, in my life, man, he's like that Fulci, he's like that Argento, he's like that Carpenter, that Craven, where you just, multiple efforts. I have a favorite of mine of his, but this isn't my top 100, man. There's another one, or maybe a couple more to come. But Bride of Frankenstein, man, from 1935, James Whale. I actually prefer this to the original Frankenstein. I love Frankenstein, and it's an awesome flick. But I don't know. I just prefer Bride, man. For some reason, I think Bride is the better movie, man. I dig it, man. When you got Frankenstein up on that big chair, man, and he's kind of like sitting on a throne, man, of sorts. It reminds me of another slasher I love, Stage Fright. At the end, man, when we have our owlhead killer sitting up on the stage, almost on a throne, in his chair like a throne. This movie just dig it, man. The whole thing, man. It's an excellent effort from James Whale. Number 74, man, from 2009, actually. Let's pull one from 2000s, right? Workola, Dead Snow. Interesting, this made it into my 100, but man, it's Nazi zombies in the snow, in the mountains. It's some of the things I love the most. It's almost got a fog appeal to it in terms of the connection between our zombies and the gold and the money. The end of the movie is almost fog-like. But it's in the snow, man. I love movies that take place in the snow. And who doesn't love a great Nazi zombie? This movie, man, just rolls. The gore, man, the gore. It's just fun, man. It's so much stinking fun, man. How can it not be in your top 100, man? But this is my top 100, so there's some Dead Snow action going on in this top 100. Number 73. Now again, this one probably ought to be higher up on the list, and so it's not, though. It is where it is. At number 74, or I'm sorry, 73, from 2007. Considered by many to be one of the best anthologies ever. Halloween. Yeah, man. Michael Dougherty, man. Trick or Treat, man. Don't ask me why I got this from the UK. There's no reason. I mean, you can get it here. I think I was just making an order. I realized it wasn't in my collection. I saw it there. I was surfing on the Amazon UK, and I saw it, so I grabbed it, man. But this is, man, the scene with the children on the bus may be one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, maybe, hands down. That scene, that scene alone demands its own movie, but you know the movie would never be as good as that scene. So you just gotta enjoy it, man. Just a seamless anthology of segments being, pieced together in just an almost flawless way, man. I love Krampus too, but there's no way Krampus is as good as this one, man. This is a superb effort from this guy, man. Trick or Treat. If you never seen this, man, you have got to see it. This is like a staple around the holiday time, man. All right, let's get down to the end of this. Number 72. Let's bring Wes Craven back in. Now this one's gonna make some people mad, I think, because it's so high up on the list. It's just where it fell, man. It's just where it fell. Wes Craven's original Scream. Now this is the first real box set that ever went into my collection. This one's a little bit old, but man, this one's nice, man. Look at this, man. This flips off, and you got the movies in there and a supplemental disc. The original trilogy, man. Let's just put the entire trilogy here at number 72. Glenn's like, why not, man? I mean, why can't you do that? I generally don't do that, but I'm holding it, so we'll put the Scream trilogy at number 72. But really, we're talking about Scream, the first one. Funny story, man. First time we saw it, it was by accident. It was playing at the drive-in. It was playing with Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. We went as a family, and we hadn't been at a drive-in in a long time. And I remember, it's like the adult film, scary film, whatever, runs second. The family film runs first. You put the littles to bed, and then you watch the second movie. That's where you're there for. But that wasn't the plan, man. We weren't even gonna watch Scream. We just went for Volcano. Thought it'd be a fun drive-in experience. And we get there, and all of a sudden, man, it's getting dusk. And all of a sudden, man, first thing across the drive, the big screen, Dimension Films. I knew right off the bat. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. They're playing Scream first. Are you serious? So I put my little one down to sleep. She was out cold within minutes. And my wife, little did we know, we were about to start a journey together. We weren't even going to watch this thing, the first one, and we ended up enjoying it and loving it so much. We ended up going to see Scream 2 when it came out, and then of course Scream 3 when that came out to the theater. And this has become over time just one of those things between me and my wife, and it happened accidentally. Go figure, man. So at 72, Wes Craven comes in again with his original from 1996. And you will find the 90s, man. I don't have a lot to say about the 90s. Somehow that decade just kind of, but there's one from the 90s. 71. Let's end off on with another Sam Raimi film. I think another one. Have Sam Raimi come into this yet? I don't think so. Maybe not. Sam Raimi at number 71. What a just an absolute beautiful way to cement what ends up being an awesome trilogy. Of course, I'm talking about Army of Darkness, and I do have it on Blu, I do have it on DVD, bootleg edition, screwhead edition, whatever edition, but I thought I'd show off the Anchor Bay. I've got the trilogy on Anchor Bay, and I just thought I would show that off. I do, man. The transfer on here is absolutely astounding. I love the transfer on this. This is a go-to release / transfer, whatever. If I'm going to put on Army of Darkness, I'm really in the mood, which is a lot. I'll just put the VHS, and yes, I got a VHS down here. I got one upstairs, along with a 4K / region-free player up there, and a region-free down here. Yeah, I mean, Army of Darkness. Dude, his nod, Raimi's nod to, well, you know, he's got the whole Three Stooges effect going on, but also there's that Jason and the Argonauts thing going on, and just, I mean, that whole movie is such a freaking ride. It's so enjoyable. Probably ought to be higher up on the list. Sits at 71 right now, but I know I did a top 100 on Letterboxd once before. This 100 I'm working on now completely and absolutely supersedes that. That was sort of like a trial run. This is really my top 100, and it may fluctuate a little bit over time, but I think I'm growing well enough and understanding where things ought to fall or not fall or whatever. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So Army of Darkness, Sam Raimi, 71. Wes Craven's Scream at 72. At 73, Trick or Treat, Michael Dougherty. At 74, Dead Snow. At 75, Bride of Frankenstein. At 76, William Lustig's Maniac from 80. Tube Hooper, 77, The Funhouse. Number 78, High Tension, some Aja goodness right there. The Hills Have Eyes at number 79. Wes Craven's early classic, automatic VHS rental. And then finally, coming at number 80, of course, is Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later. One of the better infection films out there to enjoy, for sure. So here we are. We're left at 71. That means the next one I do will begin at 70 and work down the next 10 on our way eventually to that golden top 10. As always, we end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream.